To the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis at Digunloye. Let's begin with the headlines. NNPCL Group CEO briefs President Tinubu on end-of-year performance, announces plans for AKK gas pipeline project. Minister of Livestock Development assesses ongoing initiatives in Borno State, reaffirms commitment to strengthening livestock sector. Federal government's intervention reshapes palm kernel business in southeast and south-south zones. Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria commends government's international cooperation in fights against insecurity. The management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says it is now prepared to proceed to the next phase of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline project in 2026. The NNPCL Group Chief Executive Officer Bashir Ojulari says the next phase is to connect the main line of the project, which will supply gas to power industries in the northern parts of the country. He revealed this after briefing Presidents Bola Tinubu in Lagos on the end-of-year performance and strategic priorities for 2026. Ojulari said through the inspiration and support of the President, the NNPCL has recorded improvements in crude oil production from 1.5 million barrels per day in 2024 to over 1.7 million barrels per day. He said gas production is now over 7 million standard cubic feet per day, an improvement from the 6.5 million standard cubic feet per day recorded in 2024.
We've been able to successfully complete the welding of the main line of the AKK. You remember sometimes in summer, we were able to cross the River Niger, which has been a struggle for many years. By completing this main line, what that means now is that we can begin to connect, make all the connections to the main line, which we will do in the earlier parts of next year. And why that is very important is that that brings gas in its full form into the northern part of Nigeria. We're looking at Kaduna, Kano, and also, of course, Ajaokuta and Abuja, where we begin to see industrialization, we begin to see industrial park, taking gas for gas-based industry, fertilizer plants, as well as generating power. So those are some of the achievements we've achieved this year. I think for next year, I think the conversations in terms of our key priorities, the most important part, again, is to focus on increasing production. When we say increasing production, it sounds simple, but there's a lot that goes into it. It means attracting the right investment to increase production, whether it's oil or gas. And next year, we're hoping to, achieve at least 1.8 million barrels, per day, again, stepping up from where we are this year in terms of oil production, as well as further increase in terms of gas production as well.
The President reiterated his expectation to improve oil production to 2 million barrels per day by 2027. All right, at this point, we'll pause our news. Let's cross over for a live telecast. We'll join our outside broadcasting crew. Stay tuned.
Brand new director of news, television, TVC news. Sitting next to today is a face we are seeing here for the first time, but of course, if you are a television viewer, you can't miss that situation Afro. The man with the Afro is joining us for the very first time for this series. Rotus is anchor global business on Arise Television.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here. Good morning.
And then let's cross to the other side of the earth. It's a place we know too well. Mapwe Ogoniso. Mapwe is of Channels Television.
Good to see you too, Mr. Olaba. Compliments of the season to you, Honourable Minister.
Sitting next to one, of course, is the one we call Malam Azu. It's not dressed like a Malam today. In the Nigerian Bill of Edition, we call Malam Azu. Azu Ishekwene is editor-in-chief leadership principal.
It's my pleasure to be here. Good afternoon and compliments of the season.
And of course, sitting next to Azu is a face that is also joining us for the first time. Festus Eri is of The Nation. It's actually the weekend title editor. That is Saturday and Sunday editions of The Nation.
Yes.
Good to see you, Festus.
Good morning. Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Thanks very much. Honorable Minister, I'm sure people barely see you will think that, oh, time for a response to Sheyi leaks, or is it Makinde leaks, or whichever. But before we get to all of that, let's start on the general notes, Honorable Minister. The year is just maybe you can count hours now to the end of the year. I just want to quickly look back at the year. The good, the bad. Do you have any regrets? And what will be your high points as well for the year?
Well, of course, as a human being, there are ups and downs, and there are challenges, and you are there to solve such challenges. But generally, one would say that it has been very good for us. We have seen a lot of changes in FCT, which of course is what people expect us to do. For me, it has been a very tremendous year, even though we may not have achieved what we have set up for ourselves because of one or two, setbacks, So I would say that it's a very good year for us. I will believe by the time we get to next year, the residents of Abuja will see more positive changes in the territory.
For you as a person, are there moments of regret? Are there things that maybe your reflection now you would have done differently?
Like I said,
in the last 1 year.
Like I said, I'm human. You don't expect things to be smooth all the time, But I don't have any regrets. Every rule I have taken, everything I've set out for myself, I've been able to achieve it. Yes, there could be one or two setbacks, like I've said. It's bound to happen, but I have no regrets. Every decision I've taken, I have no regrets.
Not even the encounter with the young man, the young naval officer?
That's what I'm saying. These are things that you expect in governance. That shouldn't be why you should regret. No, these are things that in governance these are things you expect to see. And then if that happens, that shouldn't be why you say there are problems. No, these are the things you are bound to surmount. And we did surmount it, and so we're happy about it.
I'm sure there's so much to remind the Honorable Minister about this last 1 year.
Yes. One of the biggest developments in the course of this year is the evident fracture of your political party, the PDP. So many people have left your party, making it look difficult for the party to be electable. Do you still see yourself as a committed PDP member? And do you think your party can bounce back from the mass defection from its ranks?
There's nothing that is impossible. But once you are committed to carrying out the based on due process, there's nothing that is impossible. First of all, what is happening to my party is what I have predicted before now. That if things are not done in the right way, this is where we're going to find ourselves. No Nigerian will say that they have not, they didn't know what I said. I've said it severally. And that's what I say. Leadership is very key to anything you are doing. Leadership in association, leadership in government. If the leaders do not take the right decision, this is how it's bound to be. And what do everybody? We have had this kind of issue before, when the party did not collapse. Nobody is affected because the leadership was committed to seeing that certain changes are made in order to keep the party going. But when you have a leadership that is not even focused, a leadership that is very selfish, a leadership that does not understand that in politics is different from a business. And so you are bound to see what you are saying today. And if they correct themselves, obviously, mind you, this is a party that is known in all grassroots. This is a party that's known in all Nigerians. It's not a new party. From 1999, the People's Democratic Party has been in power, and unfortunately, in 2015, they lost to the APC and still retained quite a good number of seats. Also, good presence in the National Assembly. We have a leadership that's not focused. We have a leadership that does not even know what to do. You have a leadership that does not even take any suggestions. And that is where we are. So if the leadership is committed and comes back to say, look, we have made a mistake. Why is it that things are happening this way now? What do we do to correct us? You see, it's not just to take over government. You have to position yourself. If the leadership is right, okay, look, by 2027, it's likely that we may not make it. But are we going to allow the party to die? Can't we start to build up? Let us take the right decision against 2031. It's all dependent on leadership. That's all I will say.
Okay, but let's get into it now then. You're sounding
and then he's on his feet in his favorite foot.
And he had a couple of chances like that, like you just mentioned.
You of doing the opposite. So if we get into his media chat that happened not too long ago, he mentioned you by name and said in a meeting with the president that you were present and the president's chief of staff was present, that you said to the president that I will hold PDP for you. And then he said that he went with you to the veranda or the balcony and said, this is not what we planned, or this is not what was agreed to. And then he said that if you're free to support the president if you want to, but he is free not to. Now, is that factual? Because he said other people were there.
That's a blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Sheima Gende has never called me wiki. Never. That's the first time I hear him say wiki. He has never called me wiki one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I will hold PDP for you. Why did Sheima Gende not come up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing? I was in a meeting and see what Wike said. It is not correct. And let me put the record straight. There was no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of Benue State, Otom, the former governor of Abia State, Ibazu, the former governor of Benue State, Ugwaye, and Sheima Gende, we went to see President. Yes, we went to see President to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. While we were there, the chief of staff, of course, you should know that the chief of staff is always around the president. I was one who said, look, chief of staff, come and show that we can, remind the president of what we have discussed. There was nothing like a meeting. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you could not, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in that meeting, I said to Mr. President, I will hold PDP down for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair.